Okay, hey everybody, welcome to this evening stream. This evening we're back with another game creation stream. So we're going to be taking a look at our gun game starter game, which we've seen is quite a popular one. We've seen quite a lot of gun games be created. So we thought it might be quite a good chance to show some people how you can really start to change the gameplay beyond that starter game and add some new guns and stuff. If you're part of our Discord, you may have seen I asked this morning for your suggestions for some sort of crazy and weird and wonderful weapons. So Adam and I have made a few of those today, so we'll get to check those out in a moment. This evening, I'm going to be joined by Maggie and Sean. So do you guys want to say hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, cool. And here we are in the hub together. So as always, our sort of pre-stream dance in the hub with pineapples. Cool. So I think we'll just get straight into it. So as always, I'm just going to jump into the main menu and head all the way across at the top to create a new gun game. Okay, so once I've got here, I'm going to call this, I'll call this the most dangerous game. Okay, and what that means is basically this is kind of an arena sport kind of thinking of to try and tie in with summer sports and our weekly inspiration of elimination. So the most dangerous game. I always pick a really long one to type out on the controller. Okay. Right, let's get a thumbnail. I think that one's always a cool one for gun game. Bunch of rocket launchers. Okay, so what that's going to do is that's going to chuck us into the editor, and because me, Sean and Maggie were already in a group, that's going to bring them with me. As always, I could always share this with them either through a state share beta link or a permanent sort of permissions-based share link. But here we are. So I think what we'll do, as always, just straight off the bat, let's just have a quick preview. We'll just show everyone what comes with this game. So what we get to start with is similar sort of layout to a lot of the other games, so the free-for-all starter, the kind of team deathmatch and stuff. Whereas this time, what we get is the same environment, we get a weapon each. And if I just run up and Sean very kindly lets me kill him, you'll notice that we've actually now switched from the shotgun to the rifle, the assault rifle, which means that I'm now on the next weapon, and so on and so forth until you get to the end. And then once you get a kill with the final weapon, then you'll be kind of awarded as the winner. Very good. Right, let's jump back.
All right.
Cool. Okay, so we've got a bit of a plan for the arena. So I don't know if you two wanted to just sort of get on, crack on with that.
Sure thing.
And we'll see what we can start building. I just realised I'm not getting any game audio, so bear with me 1 second while I sort that out. So yeah, the arena we're going to go for is a sort of arena, like kind of a slightly, I think, how did you put it, Maggie? You said it's sort of like a Tron-like arena, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Sort of. Could you play
Clean aesthetics.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we should be getting some game audio through. Might not be super obvious at first, but when we get some music and things in, that should all come through fine. So, all right. First thing, yeah, cool. So that's sort of, I really like this. I know it's kind of useful one for just kind of planning with, but I find it's a really cool kind of visual grid as well. And even this like white technical grid, I feel like that'd be a pretty nice one to sort of offset it with. So if we have like this blue arena with this white, oh no,
I keep doing this. I apologize.
Yeah, with the sort of white for the walls and stuff, I think that might look quite cool.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that with you. So first thing to address here is, as I mentioned at the beginning, a few people have made gun game starter game sort of from their starting point. And we may have actually noticed a few times the results don't seem to compute quite correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the short, very quick fix is to that. I think obviously we'll look to get the starter game itself fixed with this, but if you've already started, then this fix won't apply until you do it yourselves. But it's just a one line of code, which is quite nice. So if you jump into the advanced mode and go to Gun Game Script. Okay, so in here you'll see our script editor, and you'll notice a function in here called Gun Game Script Gets Results. Now the problem with this at the minute is what it's doing is it's organizing a table of who scored or who won basically, but at the end it's missing a sort to make sure that we get the winner at the top, and therefore the rest of the logic can work out who to display as the actual winner. So what we want to do is we want to do a table.sort. Okay, and then we've got this results.user entries. Okay, so that's the table we want to sort, and then what we need to do is specify a function in which to sort it by. But don't worry if this looks quite complicated. As I say, you should be able to copy this line like for like, and there is a forum post which Adam made explaining everything you need to know about this short fix. So once we've got that function, we need to determine what it is we're sorting by. So if we return if U1's rank is less than U2 rank. Okay, and that should be all we need to do. So all this line is basically doing is going to reorganize this table, and it's going to make sure that whoever actually scored as the winner gets put at the top of that table and therefore gets pushed through to the results properly. So as I say, we'll maybe make a note to put a link in the description to the forum post, but that's all you need to do to sort out that result screen. Okay, cool. Looks like we're getting some nice progress on there. So yeah, I think it'd work quite nicely if there's like, say, a couple of levels to this, so you can kind of get up and down different floors and different perspectives.
That sounds decent to me.
I think that'd be quite cool. And then, yeah, maybe, I don't know which one of you wants to do it, but some sort of perimeter, so we can't just run off the side of the world.
That's like my calling card.
That is your thing, yeah. Okay, so let's have a look here. That's not what I want to do. So if I hit tab again, in fact, I'm going to do this from the controller. So as always, everything, or most things you can do in the editor can be done on a controller as well, minus the scripting side and that sort of stuff. But on the controller right now, I can sort of get around my editor just like normal. I'm going to open up the community tab, and I'm going to search for, now if I remember correctly, I think I called it Crazy Weapon Pack. There it is. Okay, so we've got a crazy weapon pack. So this is the pack that Adam and I worked on over the last couple of days, which is going to give us all the different sort of crazy guns that we've either thought of or we've had suggested to us in Discord. As always, if you're watching this right now live in chat and you have any ideas of some sort of crazy weapons that you'd like to see us make, within reasons, obviously, we'll do what we can. But yeah, if you want to shout those out, that'd be great, and the mods can try and push those into a place where I can see them easily. But yeah, so if you just want to come up with some crazy stuff, and we'll see what we can do. So let's install Crazy Weapon Pack. And I think what I'll do for now, just in basic mode, is I'm going to go to the library. I'll have a look at the templates, and I'm just going to stick some of these onto the hotbar, and then we'll go through and have a little look at what we've got to play with. So we've got Banana Gun, Concussion Blaster, Handgun, hand in all caps. Let's see if you can think what that might be. I got a water pistol. Got a tennis gun. I feel like there's one more. Yeah, there is. Guitar gun. Okay, I think they were the 6 we were working with. Okay, cool. So, first things first. Place a banana gun. Concussion. And water pistol, tennis gun.
We've already got a suggestion for a car gun.
A car gun, okay. I agree with car gun. Okay, so an egg gun, the cat or chicken gun. Ooh, which came first? That's the thing. It's one of those guns that never fires because it's a really philosophical weapon that can never decide which one to fire first. Okay, instance of banana guns. Let's just lift that. Oops. Let's undo that. Okay. This is our banana gun. So as we can see, it is quite literally a gun made of bananas, and I believe Adam's made that so it actually also shoots bananas that explode in quite comical ways. So that's quite an interesting one. We've got the Concussion Blaster.
Gosh, that banana gun looks like a Cthulhu thing.
It's kind of scary looking, yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
it's got like a bit of a weird alien mouth on the back. But he was telling me that, so that's to create the sort of nozzle, I think. It's got like a, oh no, that's like the stock, and then it's got a banana for the handle, and then it's also got a banana scope as well. So it's all bananas.
oh god, it does.
We've got the Concussion Blaster, which is kind of an area weapon that will just send out a shockwave and blast people around and do a bit of damage. So that one is there. That's a kind of combination of the paint gun and a megaphone. So already you can start to see the weapons that you can really start to kit bash, as we say. It's really taken the meshes that are in the library and the voxels and just chucking them together and coming up with some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so guitar gun. Let's skip ahead a bit. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so this is a guitar mesh, which I believe will fire musical notes.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool. The handgun, so you have to bear with us on this one. I promise you, I promise you that is a hand. It's a sort of classic finger gun pointing. So that one, yeah, that's pretty fun weapon. What else have we got? The tennis gun. Okay, it just looks like an innocent tennis racket, but that it will fire jumbo explosive tennis balls when you swing it. And we've done that in such a way that it's kind of like at the peak of the swing, so as it sort of strikes, it will spawn a ball and fling it, which is quite a cool one. A little bit unpredictable, but it's quite a cool one. And then let's just grab this one out the floor. So this is our water pistol. Okay.
Ooh.
And so this again is the paint gun mixed with a smoke grenade. We'll see them a little bit better when they don't have the pickups and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that will fire out a spray of water-based voxels. Yeah, so they're the weapons that we've got. So oh look, we've got a few coming up. So we have the car gun. I can try and do that might be a little bit extreme. A weapon.
No, it's never OP.
Is it a car gun? Is the gun the car, or is the projectile the car? Interesting.
It's got to be projectiles.
Yeah.
Just fill the map with cars.
Something that fires cars. Okay, maybe we'll see what we can get to. Okay, so I'm just going to put the controller down for a second and show you how to do this in the advanced mode. But again, using the properties and things, it's all possible through the basic mode. So I've got these weapons. As I say, these are all from the store, and I've just downloaded those quite quickly and quite easily. Let me just I'll just delete these from the level. We don't need them to actually sit in here. Okay, so if you're here and you're trying to add weapons or adjust the weapons that we start with, as we said at the start, we have a shotgun, the assault rifle, a pistol, and then the axe as the 4 weapons. If I just scroll down here on my game controller, we see we've got this gun game script. Okay, so gun game script is what powers the gun game side of this. So it's got a game script, which all of our starter games come with, or most of the starter games come with, which is the same script across all of them, just with different parameters to give you the different behaviors. But sometimes, so things like survival does this as well. We actually have our own sort of little script on top of it, just to add a couple of extra elements specific to the gun game. So we have an array in here. So if we just expand that array, we see we've got a shotgun, a gun, which is the assault rifle, pistol, and an axe. So actually, let's remove these 3 because they're just kind of boring old normal weapons. So we click the cross to remove those. Now we can actually just go straight in and start picking our other weapons. So let's maybe start with a banana gun. Then we'll go to the Concussion Blaster. And let's say the handgun. Okay, and you'll notice that I've run out of space now. So this is the order in which they'll be equipped. So 1 is obviously the first one, all the way through to 4 being the last one. What I can do is I can either click the plus here and expand and add more elements to this, or I can right click and go on insert element, and that's going to add a new one above the axe. So that's one way I can make sure the axe always stays as the last one, because we kind of want that to be the sort of the final, pretty difficult one to get a kill with. Just seeing some chat. So Phil says a D&D gun that fires D6 dice and deals damage depending on which side hits. Okay, maybe it could just be a dice that does a random roll internally. I'm not sure I've quite got the time to do a side-based logic to that. But someone says, is that a giant hand? Yes, that was a giant hand. I was hoping it'd be a little bit more obvious, but it's, we're working with the voxels. There's only so much you can do before it just becomes a massive over-the-top weapon. Right, so let's add our water pistol. What's left? Tennis. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one missing. What haven't I added? Got banana, concussion, hand. Guitar. Okay, so now already we've kind of quite drastically changed the starter game from initial start. We've adjusted all the weapons that we'll have. So what we could do is we could preview that in a moment, actually, if we're ready for a quick preview to see just how quickly that's affected that. Okay, so anytime I can press preview and we'll jump straight back into that preview state, and as you notice, we're straight in with the sort of new map and the new changes that we've been collaboratively building together. These neon poles are quite cool.
Oh gosh. Oh god, the destruction's really high.
Brilliant. I love it.
Okay, so we can tone down that destruction. We'll probably
Should we though?
We should maybe either turn it down or maybe just turn destruction off for the floor.
Yeah, I think the floor.
Okay, so as we saw, I just got a kill and I've progressed to the Concussion Blaster. If I fire, that should send out a shockwave, which sent Maggie flying.
Oh god, I'm spawning on this very thin piece of land.
Okay, I'll switch back to the controller for this now. Okay, so each time you blast someone, they will receive some damage.
Oh my gosh, I got the handgun.
Oh, is he? I think he's still holding it like a rifle. That was just a little test. Oh,
yeah, it seems monstrous.
What are you holding?
Not sure.
it's clearly a hand. It's a hand that says pew. Come back,
Okay.
Maggie.
Go on, Russ. Get me. Oh no. Okay.
Okay, cool. But we've seen enough. We'll see the rest of the weapons later on in the test. But as you can see, we've very quickly changed that default gameplay to be something quite a bit more exciting, a little bit more wacky, a little bit more crazy. A few things to correct. So I'll perhaps change the finger gun to be a pistol grip rather than the rifle. But all good fun. So, and the damage as well. Do you want to just turn damage off on the terrain?
Yeah, I'll just get the floor and make it not damageable. Hang on.
In fact, I think I'll do that quickly because then I can show how to do that.
Okay.
So basically, yeah. So any voxels like that will receive damage if the damage is enabled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the terrain here in the world tree, and we see we've got our damage enabled. If I just uncheck that, that means anything on that voxel mesh, so the main part of the terrain, won't receive any damage. So if you have separate voxel meshes, each one can control independently of each other, if it will receive damage or not from things. And you can, I think the default starter games will handle it, but you can always restore voxel meshes using the API. So at the end of the round, I think its default logic with these starter games will be that all of the voxels, and as long as nothing in the code destroys it, which it shouldn't do unless you've coded that yourself, if the entity is still there, it will just kind of replenish its voxels. Cool. So Jeff saying it loves that it destroys the floor. It would, yeah, it's kind of cool, but I feel like the problem is when it's such a large area and a relatively tight map we're going to go for, you end up with a problem where it's, you end up with no floor left. But one thing you could do there is have separate parts of the floor which could be blown away and start to create little holes.
Banana gun OP.
Banana gun, yeah, pretty much OP on the floor. Right, so we've got the weapons pack in place. One thing I thought might be quite cool is, again, just to really change up the gameplay, and it's something that you can do even from basic mode, is to adjust the player template and start playing with the camera. So what might look quite nice is a sort of isometric style top down, almost like something like this sort of camera perspective. It will change the way the game feels. So obviously third person, you've got the crosshair and you've got like that sort of amount of accuracy and precision. Being top down, you can have the sort of slight different change to gameplay, and again, it's just quite a nice way of starting to play with things. Cool. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I go to here and I just go to my player template. Okay, we see we've got a whole bunch of properties down the side that we can start to play with here. So what I want to do is I want to change some of these camera based ones to be instead of action. So action is our third person or first person sort of kind of classic perspective. I'm going to orbit, and orbit now introduces a couple more options. And orbit as itself is almost like your classic MMO camera, where you kind of have the camera free from the kind of characters where they're looking, so you can kind of run one direction and be spinning the camera around with the mouse. What we're actually going to do is we're going to use this camera angle lock option to fix that. So actually this is now turned into a sort of fixed camera. So using the pitch and the yaw and the distance, let's say 750, pitch of -45 and a yaw of 45. That's going to position the camera in such a place that it's above the player and is fixed. Okay, and it's as simple as that. So that's quite a quick, easy way. Again, of really starting to sort of change the way that gameplay feels. We've seen quite a few top-down shooters come out in the last week or so, and they're really nice, refreshing things to go and play because they, it feels like slightly different. So it's certainly something that I'd encourage people playing with and starting to take advantage of. Okay, I'm just looking through here. So KitGS says it's insanely hot in the UK. Yep, check. It's insanely hot in my kitchen right now. Friday night, check. Yep. all check. So salute to you guys. Yeah, no, I mean it's great. We love doing this sort of stuff. It's really nice to engage with the community. So it's a really nice way to sort of hang out together on a Friday night, even if it is what feels like 40 degrees right now here in the UK. Are those degrees similar to isometric? So isometric also requires, I guess true isometric requires you to have I think it's like an orthographic camera, so you sort of got no real sense of depth. And I think the angles are slightly different to sort of true isometric, but it gives you that sort of isometric feel. I think, isometric kind of being that sort of straight down at the player view. So we'll preview in a moment and have a look at that. There's quite a lot of these neon blocks appearing, which is kind of cool. I wonder if we need to thin them out a touch.
Yeah, I did wonder that. If we run around a bit, we'll see how close they are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I'm thinking from the camera angle we're going to use, it might like blend. They all might all blend into one big block. But yeah, we'll see. Cool. So now we've got that in place. Did you download the Obby pack, Sean, or did you want me to kind of?
Already stuck loads of mines around.
I've just noticed mines appearing. So if anyone missed Wednesday night stream, we created a kind of pretty rage-inducing obby. We all surprised each other with various sort of obby sections. Adam had a great time. If you haven't seen it, do make sure you head over to our YouTube channel right now and catch the highlights of Adam having a lovely time playing the obby. Spoilers, he didn't have that much fun and he actually got quite angry. So it's definitely worth going to check out that video after the stream. But yeah, so in that stream we used a pack of obby based kind of see these swinging axes and things, so we're going to utilize those again to kind of make the most of those packages that we have, and these landmines and such things. So one thing we're going to need to do is, because traditionally in this sort of gun game, it'd be player versus player and there wouldn't be many environmental aspects. I thought what might be quite cool in this one is to actually decrease the player's kill count. So each time you get a kill, you go up a weapon. But I thought each time the player is killed not by another player, so by a trap or by falling through the world, we're actually going to take them down a peg back to the previous weapon. And again, that's going to require a bit of a code change, but it is quite a simple little bit of code to do. So if I go back to my gun game script, okay, we should see here that on user died. I'll just zoom that in a bit. Okay, so on user died, we're catching in here to say if they weren't killed, if they were killed by someone who isn't a player, then return. Otherwise, we're going to carry on with the logic. But actually what we want to do is we want to use this now and say, well, now we know they're not killed by a player. Let's go ahead and decrease their kill count because they were killed by something else. So half the logic's already written here for us, to be honest. So you see, we can kind of just take what happens here. So let's just take these 3 lines here and put them there. Okay, and now with our copy and paste, we can kind of allow clipboard access to the game, which is really nice. So that also includes kind of copy and pasting from an external source, which is really, really handy, especially for copying and pasting those state share beta links out. Quack Quack says, Russ, can I join your game and dance in the middle of the screen? Not right now. We will be sharing a state share beta link out at the end of the stream for everyone to come in and play this. So do make sure you stick around and get yourselves ready to come and play that. Okay, so here, instead of increasing the count for the killer user, we want to take the killed user. Okay, the user who was killed. Okay, and we want to decrease their kill count. Okay, and then what this function will do when we go and write it in a moment is it will return what their current kill count is. Then we're going to get a gun based on that. And then again, on the killed user, we want to update their weapon. Cool. So if we go to the user kill script, because you can see here, that's the script that we're trying to call this function on. So if we go to user kill script, we see we've got this function here. So this increase kill count. All we need to do here is write a second function, and we can copy basically exactly what that one's doing. So decrease kill count. Okay, and that will be self.properties num kills. So the number of kills this player has is the number of kills they have minus 1. So we're going to take 1 away. And then return self.properties num kill. Right, so the one thing we are going to have to change here, just to kind of make sure that we don't break the way the logic works, is obviously each time we get a kill, we'd go up to a point where the game logic will determine that someone's won and we would reset. If we keep decreasing the kill count every time someone dies, they're going to end up going past 0 and essentially end up in a state where there's no gun for them to have, and it's going to break down the way the game plays. So what we can do here is we can utilize a little bit of maths and a small built-in function, which is quite a useful thing to learn. So if we say here, self.properties num kills is equal to math.max. Okay, and then this is going to require 2 values. It's going to say self.properties num kills minus 1, comma 0. Okay, so what this will do, this math.max will always ensure that we never go below 0, because it's going to take whichever one of these 2 numbers is highest at any given point. So if number of kills is 0, then we're going to say number of kills minus 1 is minus 1 or 0. Which of those is highest? It's 0. So then we return number of kills is 0. So it's always going to make sure that number of kills remains at 0 and never drops below. And that should ensure that the gameplay all works out and behaves. So that should be ready there. Okay, so we've got this little script here, which is going to say, let's decrease the count of the player who was killed, and then update their weapon based on what their new kill count is. And I think that should hold up and do everything. If not, I'll have to come back in and fix anything I've got wrong there. So
I just gonna say I had to quickly catch up on the stream so I can watch what you're doing in Math.max because I did not know that. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really handy little one. And there is a math.min, which will do the opposite. So if you pass it two numbers, it'll always return the smaller of the two. That's just a quick, easy kind of built-in way to guarantee that you're never going to overstep the bounds, either the lower or the upper bounds of some kind of arbitrary logic.
My days of if statements are over.
Yep, there we go. Cool. Okay, so I think, shall we have a quick preview now? Let's have a little check of the map. If you guys, yep, you tell me when you're ready.
Oh no, this has not worked out well, but okay, that'll do.
Okay. And a preview. We should see that when we join, we get this slightly different camera angle. Oh, I stepped on something.
Oh no!
Oh, the axe is.
I didn't realize the reset position was sticking through.
Okay. Cool.
Don't stand on the axe, friends.
Don't stand on the axe. Okay, but the first thing you'll notice is our camera is in a different position. So if I move the mouse now, nothing's going to happen. I'm in this fixed perspective. Oh, and I can see there's weapons coming in. So the gameplay, as I say, the gameplay is different. There's a few things we could start to do if we had more time about maybe doing some sort of auto aim to try and help. But actually, it's quite fun to just run around and shoot. So, oh, I got someone then. So you'll notice that each time I step behind something, the camera is going to automatically clip and make sure it never goes, or no, the camera's got its own collision, which is quite useful for some games. I feel like it might be a bit frustrating for this one, so I'll go and show you how you can turn that off momentarily. I got blast Maggie wherever she went. Oh, you got me. Okay. Gonna need some music at some point. Always feels really empty without music. Whoa. Is that the finger gun?
Oh, the handgun.
The handgun with its laser sight. Oh, I've got the handgun now as well. Oh. Okay. So what I'll test now is if I step into one of the traps. There we go. So we see now that I'm back down from the handgun. I've gone back to the Concussion Blaster. So that's going to take me back down the ladder. Oh, and if I fall down there, okay, because I was killed by the environment, that's going to take me back down to the banana shooter. But because of that little math.max trick, if I just jump off, can I jump out?
You cannot.
Cannot. Sean's
do
done
my
his job
job
well. Oh, there it is. That's a really cool little trick, that hidden bit of floor. Okay, but because I've just died again, it hasn't actually taken me past that 0, so I remain with the banana shooter. Without that math.max, I'd have been, the gameplay would have broken down basically, because I'd have gone lower than 0 on the number of kills. Okay, so that looks like it was all going pretty well. Yeah, I wouldn't add any more neon. I wonder if you just need more like stealth traps around, and yeah, do you want to fix the axes that were sticking through the top?
Yep.
Maybe just make the floor a bit deeper, and then make sure the spawns aren't trapped. But the next thing I want to add is, again, just a little script again. But one way that we can kind of help the players try and aim, and again, it's a very simple little bit of code. So if I add a new script to the player, let's just call this player script for now. Okay, so we've got our brand new script. So a few people I've seen ask about, how to catch button presses and how to sort of use the input system. So I'll show you how to do that now. And actually at the same time, what we'll do is we'll make it that when the player's holding holding L2 or right click, or what is by default the secondary action, we'll make it so they can't move. So while they do that, it kind of gives them a chance to use the WASD to position their character and aim without actually running forward anymore. It's just quite a neat little trick for aiming in this sort of perspective. So if I start typing here, we'll see if we go for a on button pressed. Okay, there's a local sort of client version or the server version. And what this is a function that is called automatically on the player and the user scripts when a particular button is pressed. So when a recognized key is pressed, this function gets called on the player and the user, and it passes along with it the string, the name of the button that was pressed. It's worth noting that it also calls it on anything the player is holding, so with the default logic. So for example, the weapons all have their own on button pressed. So if you're looking for where guns fire, the default guns that we provide, you'll find an on button pressed in the gun script, which processes the primary, the secondary. I think it's extra 3 for reload and that sort of stuff. But we're going to add our own here, and we're going to say on button pressed button. Okay, so button is the name of the button that was pressed. And then here we can do an if statement to check what that was. So if button is equal to primary, okay, then that would be the primary, but actually we want secondary. Okay, so secondary. So whatever string you type there, you can kind of now enter whatever logic it is you want to run with. So if we say when they do that, let's self get entity. So we'll get the entity, which is the player in this case, dot speed multiplier. So speed multiplier is basically their speed. We'll set that to 0. Okay, so what that means now is obviously when I press that button, the player is gonna not be able to move. Now we want to be able to reset that, obviously, so they can move again. So what we'll do first is in the init, so when the script initializes and when the server fires up, let's go for a variable here. So we'll call this self.start speed. Okay, and we'll just capture what that was at the beginning. Okay, so speed multiplier. So we're going to return the number into this variable, so that way we can always refer back to it when we need to. Okay, so now we're just going to do another script here. So player script on button released. Okay, so the opposite. And it works just the same way. So it'll pass the string to the button that was just released. And in this case, we want to say if button is equal to secondary. So if they just release the secondary button, then self get entity speed multiplier is equal to, and instead of 0 this time, we'll use that start speed variable that we captured at the start. Okay, so that should be all we need to do now to basically make it so the player can sort of be still when they want to aim. Now, in order to portray that to the user playing the game, let's go to our user and we see we've got this prompts script. So here we've got a whole list of instructions that we can hard code. So a lot of things like the gun will automatically tell you when the gun wants to reload and when the gun, and it can be fired and stuff. All those things are in a get button prompts function on the gun, but you don't have to worry too much about that. In this case, all I want to do is tell players that the secondary instruction is to aim. If I just type the word aim there, what they'll get is an instruction on the screen that says press right click or L2, or whatever they've bound in the controllers to the secondary action will appear there, contextual to whether they're on keyboard and mouse as well, which is quite cool. So that should be all set up and ready. Okay, so how are we getting on? Got some pretty cool traps and stuff coming along.
Yep, sticking traps, holes in the floor everywhere.
Nice, pretty dangerous stuff. Okay, right, if you're ready, we'll have a quick preview then.
All right.
And we'll check those little bits I've just done work. So I'm going to press F5. When all done, if there's time, maybe show how to add a neon tracer on bullet. That should be quite an easy thing to do, actually, because we've got some pretty cool effects that we can use that kind of give us a trail automatically. Okay, so you can see there in the bottom right, it says press right click to aim. If I just grab my controller and start moving that, we'll see that now says press L2. Okay, and if I hold L2, that's going to... Now, when I use the left stick, I'm actually aiming with the left stick at this point and then getting blasted into oblivion. But yeah, so that's working pretty nicely. So what we might want to do next... Oh, it's still got massive damage on these bananas. We'll go and sort that out in a moment. Oh, just missed the axe. Okay, right, let's go back. So the aim is working fine, which is nice. So a couple of things to clean up. Let's first go to our player and we'll turn off the camera collision. So that's going to stop the camera colliding with the world. So it might mean the camera clips through things. So we'll have to sort of tweak the map to help with that. But I think that should help with the issue of kind of getting the camera jumping around too much. The banana gun. Go and have a look at that.
Make it more OB.
So we have a look down the scripts here. So this is the template that came with our package. So the one we want to do. In fact, let's remove the iron sight script because we don't actually need that in this perspective. And the actually, yeah. So banana gun, that's that sorted. It's the banana rocket that we want to look at. So this is our projectile. It's just this tiny little banana. Or it's actually a jumbo banana, so it's quite a big one. This projectile script here. This gives us our sort of parameters. So the amount of damage it does. 500 damage radius. Let's turn that down a touch. I guess let's go for like a 500, maybe a bit less damage. Okay, so this is, again, it's a really clean, quick and easy way. And again, you can do all this from the controller on a Chromecast from the comfort of your own living room on the big screen. You can just start to play with the parameters that come with these things. So you can download this package. You don't even have to do any coding at all. You can just jump in and start playing with the numbers that are assigned to various parameters and just start to tweak the way the game feels. Pick your own effects, pick your own sounds, all that sort of fun stuff. So that's that fixed. And the camera. So what else do we want? Okay. So one thing I thought might be quite cool is some physics enabled objects, just for an extra little bit of fun. So what I'll do is I'll chuck in a let's go for it, just a crate. Okay, it's a danger crate. It's going to be covered in spikes or something maybe, but we'll just call this a danger crate. Okay, so if anyone hasn't seen before, so enabling physics in Crayta is really simple. It's just a case of clicking this box. Then you get a couple of options here. So whether gravity is enabled on this object or will it just float around. And then what I can do is I can go to my community tab again and look for if I just type reset, we should see we can have our reset entity script. Okay, so this is a script that will reset the position and rotation and physics on an entity. There's a little bit of code in here that will make sure that this position gets reset when we want it to. If I now go to here and add the physics reset script, so you see there's no parameters here, we just need to put that on and then we can kind of trust that that's going to do its thing. All we need to do is on our game controller, and again this is just another way that you can start to really enhance and affect the gameplay, and again all of this is available from basic mode on a controller. Is on round start, we're going to want to reset the position of all of our physics. So if we add a new entity into this list, a new event, okay, and instead of assigning an entity to it, we just want to pick a script at this point. So we're just going to pick the reset, if I can find it, physics reset script, and the event we want to call is reset. So what that means is when the game controller does its on round start event, which again you don't need to worry about too much if you don't want to get involved in the code, you can just trust that when the round starts this is all going to happen. What it's going to do is it's going to do these other events and then it will do this event and basically says anything in the world that has this script on it, let's call the reset function. Okay, so just a couple of clicks, just a couple of little things to hook up, and then we're good to go. So let's template up our danger crates. Okay, so feel free to place some of these danger crates around.
Love danger crates.
And then, yeah, just extra little things to look out for. And add, yeah, if you wanted to throw some physics-enabled things in as well, that'd be pretty cool. Not too many. Obviously, there's a performance impact that comes along with having too many. But okay. So what are we looking at? Let's see. So I've got a couple of guns I've been have been requested, so I should probably get on with maybe having a look at those. So there was one gun that I wanted to make for myself just to start with, and then I'll get to the community requests. So the first gun I wanted to make was I have to bear with me on this one. It's going to be a bullet that fires guns. Does that make sense? It's going to be a a gun firing bullet rather than a bullet firing gun. So what I'm going to do is, the easiest way to do that is, well, obviously you could do it all from scratch. You could get in the mesh, you could write your own scripts, you could really start to, you know, define your own gameplay that way. But a nice easy way of doing it from the advanced mode is to go to templates, grab a gun, or, you know, the stock gun that comes with the game, or, you know, anything you've downloaded that you like. So here we can see I've got my trigger, I've got my AK, I've got all the little bits and bobs and all of my parameters defined already. If I go to this button up here, so just sort of top right of the properties, break link to template. Okay, if I click that, it's going to say, oh, you sure you want to break the link with this template? If I click break link, nothing actually really happens visually here other than the fact that this is now no longer part of that template. So what that means is this is giving me a version of this template which is completely separate to the gun, and I can now start to play with this however I'd like to. I can kind of delete parts of it. I can take bits, you know, I can really start to change this, and then I can make a new template from that. So I'm going to call this the bullet, the bullet gun. Sounds a bit strange, but bear with me on that. Okay, so let's find in the wood tree here. So we've got our bullet gun. Okay, so first thing I want to do is change the mesh asset. I think it's ammo, isn't it? Big ammo. Jumbo ammo. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So there might take a little bit of tweaking with this one to get it to work in the right direction. In fact, maybe what might work better is to create a locator to be a parent. Yep, let's see where that went. Okay, so if I can create the main part of the actual template itself is going to be this locator. What that means is I can now position this gun in such a way that the player is actually going to equip and hold the locator, and it means I can position this bullet, which is essentially the gun, in the right place. So it might take a little bit of trial and error at first, but I think that should do the trick. Okay. So what else have we got on here? So we've got our gun script. We're going to keep that. Pick up spawner script. I'm going to get rid of that because for the sake of this, I don't really need that. And again, the iron sight item script, the iron sight doesn't really make sense with this perspective. So let's remove that. So a couple of things to change here. We'll call this bullet gun, so it calls it the right thing in the inventory. The grip, I'm probably going to grip this like a pistol. I think that might work quite well. In fact, no, let's stick with the rifle and see how that looks. Okay, and then the icon asset. To update that, what you need to do is find the right asset in the library, so whether that's the mesh or the voxel, and then just drag that across, drop it in icon asset, and that means now that the right icon will appear in the inventory by default. Okay, so what else have we got here? Let's go have a look. So this is our muzzle locator. So that basically tells the gun script where the end of the gun is. Let's pop that at the end of the bullet. And this pickup trigger can be deleted because we don't really need that. Okay, so now we've got this gun, this bullet gun. Let's just call this the right thing. So we'll call this a bullet gun mesh. Okay, so we've got a few things we can look at on this. What we're going to want to do is take the gun script and the inventory script off the mesh and move it onto this locator parent. So gun script and inventory view script. not that one. Inventory item spec script is the one I want. I always do that. That's the one thing I always like. One of the many things, but whenever I want to get that script, I always pick the wrong one. Okay, so bullet gun. Okay, its grip is going to be rifle, and it's got gunboat ammo for its icon, and then the gun script itself. So we've got a whole bunch of things to play with here, but actually all we kind of care about really are just a few of them, because it's going to fire a projectile. There's a lot of them here we can kind of ignore. The first thing, let's say the shot sound. So what shot sound would a gun that fires bullets make? Oh, sorry, a bullet that fires guns. I'm getting it all wrapped up in my head. I feel like maybe it would it make a reload sound when it fires? Would that make sense?
Ka-clunk.
A clunk. That sounds about right. Okay, there's a whole bunch of things here. There's one I want to find should down here. So should fire projectile. Okay, so if I check this is going to give me a couple more options about the sort of the velocity in which the projectile gets fired, and then the projectile itself. So if I look at my template list again, we should see, if we take the banana rocket as an example, we'll place one of those. Okay, so we'll kind of want to maybe go for a similar way that this behaves. So again, let's break the link to this template. Okay, and we'll call this a gun bullet. It's not a bullet gun, this is a gun bullet. We'll change the mesh to be, maybe it should fire assault rifles. I feel like that's pretty cool. Physics is going to be enabled on it, so it will sort of have a bit of a dip. Okay, the lifespan damage. So explosion effect, yeah, medium. It's not going to say bang, but it's probably going to make the assault rifle shot sound. Okay, so now that that's set up, all we need to do now is template up this. So we'll call this gun bullet. Okay, and now this is a template, we can delete that. So that's ready to go back to our main gun. And select our template we're going to fire. Gun bullet. Okay, and we'll fire that probably quite quickly. Let's say we'll fire that 600 instead of that default 2. And then finally, let's template up bullet gun. Okay, now that that's done, we can delete that. And then now we've got the template, the last thing we need to do is find our game controller. And then just like we did at the start, we're going to go to our guns array. We'll insert a new one at the very beginning and add in bullet gun. Okay, so that should be the first thing the players get equipped with. So it'd be interesting to see if that's all working as expected. If you're ready, we'll go to preview.
Yeah, I hope this works.
Yep, let's see.
It does not.
This is the lobby. Or is there a bunch of errors? No, no errors. Okay, so I'm running around holding a big bullet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
And if I fire... oh, it just... oh, it kind of works, yeah.
It's a bit low, but
A bit low, yeah. Might need to adjust the speed in which it fires those. I guess the physics, because they're quite heavy, aren't they? But you get the idea. Each
you got
time
the weapon trails.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. We've got the trail on the. That is quite funny, actually. The way it's like, yeah, the gun fires, and then you get that reload sound. Okay, firing that nice big banana gun. Okay, cool.
Oh no,
having too much fun. Right. So what I need to change there was it wasn't firing it very fast, so that will be down to the bullet gun, not the gun bullet. Really come up with better names for these things. Right, so the projectile, let's go for like 2,500. Let's go crazy. Okay, cool. So arena's looking really cool. So I haven't had too much to do. with this one. But yeah, that sounds like a really cool, really sweet little kind of futuristic warehouse type look. It's looking pretty good. Right, a couple of quick guns then. So what was the first one we saw? Was a car gun.
We need a car gun, yes, absolutely.
Wow, okay, right. So I might make this one from scratch. So are we saying it's a car that fires gun? No, gun that fires cars, or a car that fires some? So it's a gun that fires cars.
Don't know how you'd hold a car.
Yeah. Oh man, I dread to think how this is going to behave. So I'm going to go with the rail gun because that's a pretty good starting point. Use this little platform again. Okay, I really like this railgun mesh. It's a really sweet looking weapon. It's a really fun one to kit bash with as well. Right, so what we're going to want, some sort of huge, I'm thinking like a cauldron or something on the front to be like a huge barrel end sort of.
The car launcher.
The car launcher. It's got to have a big. It's going to be ridiculous.
I can already feel the server getting anxious.
Adam doesn't know what he's missing out on. Okay.
Adam's recovering.
Yeah. And actually, so we'll make sure we turn collision off. So that's one good thing to do when you're making weapons and things that players hold is either overlap with the players to make sure that there's not going to be too much collision, or just turn collision off entirely, because when you're holding a weapon, it doesn't really matter if it collides with things. Can you possibly show how to create a grenade sort of weapon with, let's say, a trophy? So one of the best things to do with that, Raf, is probably this crazy weapons pack comes with a whole bunch of things like the projectile logic. You'll see in this pack is a tennis racket that when you swing, it chucks a tennis ball. You could probably take that exact logic, just remove the mesh, remove the ball, so as the player swings. Sorry, remove the racket. So as the player swings, the ball flies out like a grenade. So yeah, we'll show you when we get to it. But this is a pretty cool package to start playing with that sort of stuff. Right. So that's in position. Let's add maybe add a light inside here. Okay, we'll get it to cast shadows.
Move by to the car gun.
Got a big old blue light. If we're gonna fire the blue car, but I can just have a big blue light inside of it. This thing's looking pretty cool already. Okay, so this is the car gun. Okay, so car gun needs to have a gun script, and it also needs to have a inventory item spec script. So first we'll do this bit. So this is the car gun. Grip, I guess you're going to grip this one like a rifle. I'm going to put the car as the icon asset, so the car will appear. Okay, and then next thing will be set the gun up, but first let's set our projectile up. So again, I think we'll just base this off the banana, because the banana is quite a good example. So banana rocket. Okay, let's break the link to that. We'll call this car rocket. Okay, the mesh is going to be the roll up and search car. It's going to be this massive car.
Excellent.
Okay, then we want to guess this is going to do pretty big damage. Let's go for probably just going to be an outright 1,000 damage. The pretty big radius. It's going to sound like got to be some good car sounds. Cartoon boing, maybe.
That sounds good. That sounds perfect.
Cartoon boing. Okay, and probably fire explosion large is going to be huge. Maybe with the debris version as well. In fact, no, let's just go with large. Cool. So great big explosion when the car comes flying out and hits something. Okay, let's template that one up. In fact, I think the lifespan. Yeah, let's make the lifespan a bit shorter. Let's go for like 3 seconds or something. I feel like they need to destroy themselves pretty quick, otherwise the server's not going to be thrilled. Okay, so this is the car rocket. Okay, so back to our car gun. Let's go to the gun script. And again, let's set a few things here. So the shot sound is good. I think we should go for the horn. Yep, that's it. It's agreed. So when you fire it, you're going to get the clown horn pop. The funny old little honk. Okay, we want the let's set up the muzzle locator. So where is it going to get fired from? We probably want to get it fired out from like quite far in front, otherwise it's going to get super interesting. It's going to be a strange old weapon, but we'll see. Rename this muzzle. I'm making no promises this is going to behave, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how we go on.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, let's drag that down there. So muzzle flash locator knows where it is. Fire message will be fire name, so that should just process that for us automatically. Should fire projectiles? Yes. It's going to fire the car rocket, of course. It's going to fire it at. It's probably going to have to give it some welly because it's quite a heavy mesh. So, okay, I think that's all set up. We'll see how we get on with that. But let's template up car gun. Okay, and let's go back to our game controller. I feel like that might be an easy one to get kills with, so let's. Well, that's a good starting weapon. Because they're supposed to get harder. I think that's kind of the point. Right, what time is it? Just gone 8 o'clock. Okay. So, have a look. One more weapon. So, what else did we have suggested in chat? There's someone mentioned something about the having something fire sort of trails. So I think we could probably set one of those up quite quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my car gun. Okay, and again, I'm just going to go up and break the link. So I'm going to start from this point. I'm going to get rid of the cauldron and the light. And let's find another mesh to just chuck on this as a bit of a kit bash. The flashlight that always looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's fun. It's like a bit of
good.
Like a scope or something. We check that up. There, it's like some sort of scope on top. Cool. So let's make sure we turn collision off on the flashlight. We'll rename this Neon Blaster. Okay, so what we're going to do this time, instead of using a mesh to fire, we're actually going to create a new voxel mesh. So we'll call this our neon bullet. Okay, and if I put neon bullet down the map, we get this new voxel mesh, which we can sort of position and treat like any other entity. I'm going to call this neon bullet. Okay, so neon bullet. We noticed that the pivot point for this, if we look here, we can kind of see that it's down in this bottom right hand corner. But actually what we want to do is we want to get that pivot point to be sat in the middle of this, so it behaves like that's the center of, of gravity essentially. So we just change all of these points and the pivot points are 12.5. So each voxel in Crayta is a 25 centimeter voxel for scale. So if we do all of them by 12.5, we get kind of middle on each axis. And now you'll see that when I rotate this, we're actually getting kind of a rotation which is going to keep kind of the center of that voxel true. So now let's go to our voxels and we'll find a a nice neon blue, perhaps. And that's created a nice glowing voxel. And then finally, the question was about adding a tracer to it. So one thing you can do quite nicely is go to the effects, and if you search for trail, there's quite a few trails in here. The different effects. Cyan short might be a good one. If I click and drag that, okay, we see this effect. Now we won't actually see the effect of that until we run the game, but that's there and that's ready. So when this cube moves, we'll see kind of it leave a trail behind in the preview state. So what I want to do now is let me just get another banana rocket down. Because I've already started this, what I'll do is I'll just copy the setup, so it just has a projectile script on it. Let's add a projectile script. Okay, and this one, in fact, I could probably just work it out, most of it. So yep, lifespan, let's make that a little bit longer, so let's say 10 seconds. A bit less damage, go for like 250. Quite a small radius. It's not really going to explode too much, probably just disappear. So let's leave that like that. So template up neon bullet. Okay, so Neon Blaster now has its projectile ready. So it's going to fire Neon Bullet, and the projectile will probably leave, let's say 1,000. So it's a little bit slower than that, but still nice and quick. Okay, and then Neon Blaster, Okay. So if we go back to our game and we'll set up another weapon, and that's probably going to be all we've got time for. We're at 10 past, so we'll have a quick preview in a moment and we'll just check how much this all works. It's been a little bit of a thrown together experiment, but hopefully that's all going to mostly work. So if you guys are ready, we'll go preview this.
Yep.
Okay. So, oh, we need to music. Mustn't forget music. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh.
What is this?
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a pretty big area of effect on that. That clown horn's hilarious.
The next. Oh gosh.
Oh, just ran straight off the map. Okay, we can see the lights working quite nicely at the end of the cauldron. How's the Neon Blaster, Sean? Is that you that's got it?
It also makes the clown noise.
Ah, I didn't change that. Okay.
Here you go. Go. Where are you? There you go. Chuck a car at me. Oh, bit hard car. There you go.
There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to move the muzzle as well because that's quite close. But what you can see is we've got that trail, which is kind of like a tracer behind it. Oh, what's this thing?
Geez.
What's this big thing chasing me? Oh, that will
Giant
kill me.
laser.
Wow.
Yeah, don't touch giant neon flings.
Big orbital laser strike. Okay. Oh yeah, because that hit me. I'm back. Oopsie it. Because I'm back now onto the car gun. Nice. Okay. Oh, we've destroyed so much of the terrain now. The axe is just swinging in midair. Makes it even harder to spot. Okay, where have you gone?
Oh, you literally just said that and I walked into it. I've gone back to the... Oh, I see you stuck a spotlight in front of it.
Yeah, well, there's
There you go, throw a card at me.
well, there's not a spotlight. It's actually like a big shadow casting point light inside
This is the cauldron. isn't it?
inside the cauldron. Yeah. It works quite nicely. Obviously, you want to be careful how many shadow casting lights you have, but it feels like a pretty valid use. Is this damage? Is the voxel doing damage? That's my. I'm not sure it is.
That's. Here you go.
It's spawning too far away. I think.
Yeah, let me stand further back.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, it
Oh my
is,
gosh, what's going on
definitely.
there?
I'm definitely getting hit.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's doing damage though. Okay.
It is, yeah.
It
My
is.
health's gone down.
Actually, no. Shoot me again.
Yeah, I don't see your health going down unless it's tiny health.
It is doing like 1 HP of damage each time.
No, really?
Right, so it might just have a massive drop off on the damage. So okay, that's fine. We'll go back and we'll tweak those. So what we'll do is we'll publish this soon and get people to play. It may be that some of the guns are a bit imbalanced, but we can work on it and get it sort of up to speed over time. But it'll be fun to just sort of muck around on the map regardless. So okay, there's a few things. So the neon bullet, if I guess it needs an explosion effect. So go for like electric spark explode, and the sound will be electric box. Okay, and then if we go to our neon blaster, yes, we can see that our muzzle was way too far away, so let's drag that right back. Okay, and if I just look at the projectile script, let's just see how it calculates its damage amount. Okay, yeah, and then radial damage. Okay, yes, I think it just needed to do a lot more damage. It was just neon bullet. Let's just make it back up to like 500 with the radius of 300 or something. Work. Okay. I feel like we're going to be sick of the sound of that car horn by the end of this, but we'll see.
Oh, do you change the sound for the...
That's a good shout. Neon Blaster needs to not sound like that. It can sound much cooler than that. So let's go for... I think there's a pretty cool... I might not have it. It could just be another pew gun.
I'm sure we have something.
Laser. Yeah, retro laser.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, what I might do is change to the repeat timer. I should be able to fire much quicker. Let's go for like much faster. Up this. I don't think this damage comes into effect. Let's just up that as well. Okay. Okay, right. So I think that would almost be there. Just looking at chat quickly. So Raf saying, I'm having trouble with my dumbbell launcher. Would adding a trigger box around it help? Around the dumbbell bullet, so increasing the damage radius would help. So yeah, I'm not sure. So what trouble is it you're having? I think if it's not hitting players or catching players, then a trigger on it would probably be quite good. And obviously if a player enters that trigger, you can deal damage. Or there's a function, I'm not sure if you're using it in here, you can see get world apply radial damage is probably a good one to look at. So what that means is it will apply a big sort of area of damage at a given point. So once you know the dumbbells hit a player, you can do a big kind of impact at that point. So it's getting a little bit more technical at that point, but that's just another way you could do it. So yeah, as I say, this is probably a really good pack actually, even though it's a bit of silly guns and stuff. It's probably a really good pack to start playing with because it uses lots of different ways of weapons work. So explosive kind of physics-based projectiles, or you'll see with a guitar gun, it's not physics, it's just like a straight projectile, or the classic weapon. So there's all sorts of things to play with. So yeah, this is a really good package to grab. As I say, if you just go to the store and search for crazy, you'll see crazy weapon pack, and it's just a bunch of crazy weapons. Right, so that was those couple of things. So we might be ready for another preview then. Fix those couple of bits. Yep. Let's go ahead and see if it works. Give it a second to load.
Oh, I see we both added competing music tracks.
Oh, I didn't add the music.
Oh, I did.
Oh, me and Maggie did then. Mine's arguably better.
These cars. Yeah, so part of this sort of perspective is actually, you know, just trying to run around and find players. There we go. Okay. I knew someone was over there, so. Oh, straight into the mine and back down a weapon.
Oh, brutal gameplay.
Right, there's Maggie gone.
Oh.
Do you think I put all these traps down? I should know where they are, but I still keep walking off the map. Oh, double kill by Maggie.
Oh, Maggie's onto the gun firing bullet. Oh, is this doing more damage yet? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, much better. Oh, almost down the trap. No.
I killed you, then fell off.
Right. Right, okay, where are you? Let's get through these guns and test them. Oh, double kill.
Double kill.
Double kill, right. I skipped one straight to the blaster, so I think this one works. So, oh, okay. Who's that? Sean's on the neon.
Oh,
I just blasted Maggie straight down the hole, which then means she goes down a weapon as well. Oh, finger gun.
Oh, no, I've got the neon gun.
Oh, water pistol.
Geez.
Oh, I need to remove the
What
crosshair
have you
from this.
got?
This is the water pistol that's firing a ton of water voxels. Okay, tennis racket.
Oh, God,
tennis racket.
Go on, let's see it in action. That's pretty good, actually.
That's going to fire great big tennis balls.
Wow. Wait, were they supposed to have a neon gun?
Little Easter egg on the name of this as well, if anyone gets that. Oh, I just jumped straight off. That was silly.
Oh, no.
No, I'm so close trying to line myself up. That tennis serve.
Oh, sniped.
Where are you, person over here? There we go. Right, I'm on the guitar gun that fires massive, crazy, big musical notes.
Brilliant.
Oh, no.
Right, down to the axe. So final kill.
We need like a really cool final melee weapon.
Oh,
no, he fell off.
Oh no. I promise we'll publish this in a minute for people to have fun with. Oh, I almost ran into the axe because it's under the map. That's really deadly, actually, running underneath the map there. Oh no.
Just did that again.
I did it again. Right, I just want to test that the results work. Right, I need to stop
Okay,
killing
okay,
myself.
All right, I'll come.
I keep killing myself. It's not you guys. Okay, I'm going to bash you with that. I'm going to get the guitar. Let's line up. Okay, right, axe. Okay, so what should happen now is I've lost my gun, but it should come up and say that I was the winner. Cool.
Ah.
Yeah, Raf's got the Easter egg, by the way. So yeah, the tennis racket is called SW19, which is the postcode for Wimbledon.
Very nice.
Yeah, sports knowledge. Oh, that's actually
No
Raf.
way, it's Raf's postcode.
Well, of course, Raf was going to get that.
That's sweet.
Okay, well, I think that's probably a good place to publish that, right? Oh, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We could spend more time tweaking the guns and making it even more crazy and silly. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the create page now. I'm going to find my game, the most dangerous game.
1 second, we got to delete one music track.
I know, I just literally
I will
said
have
it.
you.
Oh, you've done it. Okay. Let's go to
Great.
publish. Okay, so now I get to select the description. So a gun game with a whole bunch of crazy weapons to try and play with. Watch out for traps. You'll lose a kill if they get you. Made on stream. Okay, let's continue there. We'll stick with that picture. I think that's a pretty good one. Right, this is a action. Probably a bullet hell, I'd say. It's pretty crazy. There's going to be a lot going on with a bunch of people in. It is fast-paced, futuristic shooter.
It's certainly a shooter.
Certainly it is. Well, let's tag it with elimination. So elimination is this week's inspiration sort of point. So if you are looking for inspiration on what to build, then use inspiration. Use elimination as your inspiration, and make sure you do tag the game with elimination as well. So let's go continue. So this is our game and publish. Excellent. So if anyone's keen-eyed and ready, you should see that appear on the play page any moment now. So you'll be able to jump in and play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the play page and jump in there myself. That should drag Maggie and Sean with me. And then once I'm in, I'm going to get the State Share beta link, and I'll share that with chat. What that means is you'll be able to click that link and you'll be able to join us directly in the exact session we're in until it fills up. And then once it's full, you'll be put into a separate sort of instance to come and sort of play with. So you play the same game, it just won't be with us. So if you're quick, you'll get in. And there it is. Okay, there's the link in chat. So go, click that, and you should start joining us. Already getting flinged at gun with cars.
Of course.
Okay, here's Slush Death. First person in.
No. Raucous Raptor.
Raucous Raptor, yep. Okay.
Did you just get lasered?
I think I did. I'm still on the base gun though, so. Oh. Okay, a couple of cars flying around. Here's Raven Anime. Maggie's made it. Sorry, Hannah. Okay, I'm on the gun firing bullet.
Did you do an intentional thing so when you hold right click, you sort of stay on the spot and pivot?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a whole bit where I described how I did it.
Oh, I was too busy making death lasers, I guess.
But yeah, so if you hold a secondary, so that should be L2 or right click or whatever you've bound secondary to, it should put you on the spot, and it kind of makes aiming in this perspective a little bit easier. You can kind of then use WASD
So bad.
or the left stick to kind of spin around on the spot and pick the direction. Oh, I just ran off the map. Pick the direction you're going to shoot, and it stops you from running in that direction. Oh, this is a bad place.
Look at this. Maggie at the top of the leaderboard.
Somehow.
This is a great choice of music, by the way.
You are like the angel of death.
Oh no! Oh, I got
Oh.
blasted off the map.
I got sliced.
So if anyone's just kind of joined us and maybe missed the start of this, we've just created this game in about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And each time you get killed by a non-player, you get put down a weapon. So this is the classic gun game. So I've just been blasted off the map twice, and I'm now back down to the car gun. I'm not doing so well.
Oh, you've been usurped by Showtime.
Oh, it's tight at the top.
Oh.
Oh, there's a big car. Didn't destroy itself. Oh, and then it did, of course. I'm scared to run under the map because I don't... Never mind. There's the axe.
Oh gosh.
I was about to say I'm scared of the axe. So the thing with the scoreboard, actually, it's a little bit misleading, is each time I've gone down a kill, I've not reduced my score. So it's not actually... I'll probably change it to do that at some point, but it's not representative of... So I'm on 5 points, but I'm back on the first weapon. I just realised the neon blaster's still called car gun. That's no good.
Oh, the
I went to
handgun.
tennis.
Oh, it's you and Showtime tennising out.
Oh, someone's on the guitar. I think Showtime's on the axe. Oh, come on, you're both almost dead. There we go, right. Oh, I got two. 2 and 1. Right, Concussion Blaster. Oh, those floor traps, Sean.
I know. I keep walking. I did a good job of disguising them.
Yeah, they're really good. I think because it's a grid pattern anyway. Like you kind of the edges.
You can't really see them.
Yeah. Wow, that was crazy. I was just sort of spectating someone from like
This is-
third person, and a car just came flying over their heads.
I'm
Showtime.
really liking the tennis gun.
It's cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well played, Sean.
Whoa, wait a minute. That should be Showtime. He's got 14. They've got 14.
You
No.
can't go down.
So yeah, so each time you go down a weapon, it doesn't take your score down.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well, one more round.
One more, yeah.
One more, yeah. Oh, straight into the axe. Oh, it's all going a bit crazy.
It's a car-based massacre.
Oh my god, this is so mad.
I found my best tactic at the minute is to just stand away and just fire off the screen and just hope people are there.
You'll eventually hit someone.
Yeah. Okay, I'm onto the bullet firing gun. Banana gun.
Should probably reduce those stone sounds.
Is that what the laser's doing?
No, so each time one of those platforms falls down, it's doing like a stone sound.
Right.
And because there's quite a lot of them.
Okay, Concussion Blaster. Oh, apparently I died.
Oh, I forgot about the axes.
Oh, I saw the floor and I thought I got away with it.
Oh, this is mayhem.
It is. I love it.
Yeah, I say it's really funny, like when you get the perspective from the third person camera,
Yeah.
and it's like you get like that different angle of the chaos.
So good.
This is getting quite close, yeah.
Someone. Oh, I've gone back down to the first gun.
Oh, those stone noises are pretty.
There. Yeah.
When you get really
Yeah.
close to it. Oh, there's axes under here. I don't know where I am.
I need to reduce that.
Oh, I just got off the banana gun and then got lasered.
Ah.
Finger gun. Water pistol.
Come on, Russ. It's you showtime in Raven.
Oh, I need to remove the... Yeah, there's a few things to fix with this, but... It's still enjoyable to have... Oh, showtime.
Oh,
makes it.
showtime
Oh,
makes it.
showtime.
Okay, cool. Well, feel free to carry on playing. You know, hopefully you're all having fun. I can see that going on for quite a few more rounds now. I'll do a little bit of an outro and I might come back and join you. So thanks, Sean and Maggie, for helping. That's been really good fun.
That was good fun.
Of course.
I'll leave you to it. So yeah, thanks again. Okay, cool. So hopefully you've enjoyed that stream. So that's been a pretty fun way to sort of end the week. You know, pretty crazy game. We've ended up obviously making quite an exciting, quite a different game to the starter game that we began with. So as I say, we started from that gun game. So hopefully, you know, that's kind of inspired a few people to start playing with the templates and playing with the way that you can kind of really start to carve and craft your own game logic from those starter games. If you haven't already, do make sure you join us on Twitter and Instagram. So you can find us over on those platforms at Crayta Game. Twitter's a great place to keep up with all the latest news and bits of information, and then Instagram's a really great place to keep up with the sort of more visual side of Crayta. So things like our comic and all those bits of kind of concept art and all the stuff we like to share over there. You can also find us on Discord. So we're pretty active on Discord. We do a lot of our kind of main community engagement over there. So if you haven't already, do make sure you join our Discord. If one of the mods could chuck out a link, that would be a really a great thing. So people could join us there. You can get all sorts of information from Discord. So announcements about sort of general what we're up to at Unit 2 Games, kind of what we're up to with Crayta. You can find out more about the streams and videos we've released. We've got several help channels, so if you're struggling with anything, there's an Ask Anything channel, specifically with Lua. Me and Adam do our best to kind of monitor those things in there and answer whatever Lua-based questions. We've got UI help, so Sean does a lot of helping out with the UI-based questions in there, so really encourage you to come and join us on Discord if you can. We also, almost at the end of our first month, I can't believe how crazy fast it's gone. It doesn't feel like 2 minutes since I was here on that morning of July the 1st doing the sort of introduction to Crayta being launched. But we're almost at the end, so that means we're almost at the point where we're going to announce our first month prize winners. So if you haven't already, if you haven't already seen, we are running a monthly prize fund. So we'll maybe check out the blog post to that. Into the chat if that's available. If not, we'll maybe stick it in the description. But we'll be announcing that next week, so do make sure you stay tuned to all our channels that I've just mentioned to get the sort of up-to-date news on the winners of that first pass. And then finally, make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube. So we do a lot of these sorts of tutorial-based content, either game creation or specifically like a masterclass, or kind of just play-along streams. So last night we had a pretty fun great play along stream with Andy Morph, one of our community members. So make sure you check out all those things. And yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend, and I can't wait to see what sort of things you can create with all the stuff we've covered this evening. See you later.